Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been like 2 months or something since I've actually recorded, so I'm really just making a video just to show up. Honestly, I haven't recorded since I recorded that podcast with my sister really 2 months ago. So I figured it's time for me to put out some more content and stop slacking. And it's so hard because it's like anytime that I stop for a little while doing anything, it feels like uh, I fall into getting scared again, getting scared of whether that's like putting uh, myself out there for people to possibly criticize, or it's just like fearing that my content won't be perfect, which nothing's perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect, and I need to stop doing that. Um, Especially when I uh, I so consistently try to tell other people that it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, for example, my cousin, who is incredibly talented, very gifted at animation, and he can be really hard on himself. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, don't stop being so hard on yourself and stop thinking everything has to be perfect. It's fine. And to like just the average person, like nobody's really noticing that stuff anyway because you have the gift and they don't. They're just appreciating they're appreciating your gift. So, yeah, I just need to get out of my head and come back on here and just talk a little bit today about toxicity. Um, Everybody is toxic, and I think in today's society we have such high expectations of ourselves and others to be perfect, and that's just not how we are. Like, we are, you got to take the good and the bad with humanity. We all have our stuff, we all have baggage, we've all been through pain, um, and we all go through hardships. Um, and those things, they leave a mark on us. Whether that mark or the impact that it leaves on you is beneficial or not is completely your choice. It's completely up to you. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the saying, but the saying goes that hurt people hurt people. I'm seeing that so much now. And it makes me, it honestly just, it hurts me to see that. Um, because some people like myself can endure pain, can endure suffering of some kind in this life, and I try to learn from it. I try to grow from it, and I don't try to project any hurt in my life onto other people and make them feel any kind of way. Um, but some people go the other way, and some people take their hurt and they make other people hurt. And the saying goes, misery loves company. And I'm just here to tell anybody today who's going through it, and maybe you're blaming yourself for something, or you're hurting in some way. I'm just here to tell you that you're not a bad person, and that anything that has happened to you, it doesn't have to define you. Anything from your past that has harmed you in some way, you don't have to let it define you. You can choose to become better from it, and you can choose to show grace to people. You can choose to possibly save someone from the same pain that you endured. Because at the end of the day, we don't know what other people are going through. We don't see what happens on the other side of their life outside of our brief encounters with people. We don't see what happens behind closed doors in their homes. Maybe they don't have a home. You don't know. And that's why I'm so heavy on treating people right and doing right by others and just being a good person, just being a nice person. And the crazy thing is, and maybe borderline delusional thing, is that I don't believe that anyone is a bad person. I don't believe in bad people. I believe that everybody is brought into this world as a fun-loving kid. Just all kids are just, kids are just the way that they are. That's just nature. They're just most of the time happy by nature, and I feel like that's our true essence as human beings, is our childlike state. But conditioning comes into play. Trauma comes into play. Suffering, hurting, pain, sadness, all those things come into play. And then you reach adulthood, and suddenly you've forgotten about that child. You've forgotten what it was like to interact with a kid that looked nothing like you, that had no mutual beliefs. You've forgotten what it's like to take time for yourself. You've forgotten what it's like to just go outside and enjoy the sun. You've forgotten what it's like to write in a journal. You've forgotten what it's like to watch your favorite movie with a cup of tea. You've forgotten what it's like just to even enjoy the simple taste of coffee every morning. And we take all the little things in life for granted. And we tend to look only at the negative things in life, because that's what we're used to now. That's our new normal, is pain. And we forget that there's more. And I'm just here to reassure anyone who's going through it that there is more. And I'm slowly working hard on myself to consistently feel that more. But that's exactly what it is. It's work, and a lot of people don't like that, and I understand. Anybody out there who is serious about finding happiness, true happiness, you can't let the world make you crumble. You can't let the world destroy your spirit. And that these are lessons that you can not only learn from yourself, but can pass along to others and help others. Start a chain reaction. We all need to heal. These are extremely stressful times, extremely anxious times, and I feel this constant urge inside of me to help people. But the hard part is that a lot of people don't want help, but they need it. And they don't realize they need it. Some people do, and they're just in denial, and others are just who they are, and that's how they are, and I respect that. But I, on this earth, while I'm here, I want to help as many people as I can. And I feel that the best way to do that is by showing people that they have the power. You have the power. But you can't play the victim. And you can't say, the world, the world, the world, this person, that person. You can't do that if you want to live a truly happy life. You have to tap into yourself, your spirit, your essence, and you have to shine brighter and be bigger than your obstacles and be stronger than the people who are weak and tearing you down, because that's all those people are. They're insecure, they're weak-minded, and they have to tear you down to make themselves feel better. And the world does a great job of doing that. The internet, there are good aspects of the internet, don't get me wrong, but the internet by and large has become a complete playground for just spewing hatred. I'll look on something simple like a sports page on Instagram, and everybody's bashing these players like they're not human, like they don't have families. People sending death threats to these athletes' families just because this athlete performing for their team isn't winning. And sure, it's just a threat from a random fan, and it probably means nothing to that athlete. I know it would mean nothing to me, but sending threats, death threats to family members is serious. And that might be a drastic example, but just the way that people are speaking to each other and interacting with each other ain't it. And it's crazy because I'm only 24, but I feel like such an old man just watching these children run around just insulting each other. It's childish. It's so childish. And it's concerning. But people don't talk about it, and we act like this is normal, and we act like that's just the societal norm. No. Like, being rude to each other is not cool. And we teach our children to be respectful, right? And we teach our children basic principles like please and thank you. Love your neighbor. Treat others how you want to be treated. But then we go through some stuff as adults, and suddenly all that goes out the window, right? That stuff don't apply to us no more, right? That's how a lot of us act. And it's just so funny to me because my wife and I have had this discussion because she wants to, we both want our relationship with our children to be a mutual relationship of sorts. So, in a sense, we hold them accountable. They also hold us accountable. And it's hard because your ego tells you that, this child can't hold me accountable. I'm the parent, But it's just like, it's just real though. It's like if I want my child to tell the truth, I need to tell the truth to my child. That's just the way the world works. You get what you give. But then, after we try to teach our children these principles, we go out into the real world and we're out here killing each other. We're out here doing each other wrong, treating each other any kind of way, saying whatever we want, hiding behind screens and talking reckless to each other. And it's childish. It's real childish. Like, how are you about to tell your own child to be respectful and kind to people, and then you're turning around and talking crazy mess to people. And then you wonder why your child ends up a kind of way. I mean, it's your child gets their behavior from something, right? Usually by imitating what they see. So if you're saying one thing to if you're trying to teach someone good character, but you yourself are not displaying good character traits, there's your result. Boom. Just to piggyback off the thing I said earlier with, children holding you accountable and ego and all of that. I've been noticing recently that older people don't really like to talk to me. And I won't even just say older people. I'll just say, like, a lot of people in general will not entertain when I speak, which is incredibly frustrating, but it's because I like to talk about real stuff. And a lot of people don't like to talk about real stuff. Like, and that is just, like, wild to me, because it's just, there's no wonder why so many people are so socially anxious. It's because we feel like we have to live under layers all the time. We feel like we have to suppress real emotions. People are so scared to say how they really feel. People are so scared to say how they really feel. And I was just talking to my wife upstairs earlier, and I was getting mad because of certain encounters I've had with people who will tell me something is fine, and then they'll, like, passive aggressively do something, like, really backhanded. Like, I've known somebody, I'm not gonna say too much, but I've known somebody who I've been on their property. They've been friendly to me or whatever. I've been on their property. They get home. I asked them if it was okay that I was over there, because they had been really friendly and whatnot, and they had offered their home and property to me before, and I thought that everything would be okay. I asked them if it was okay, said it was okay, and then the next day the property was blocked off. And it's just like, all right, well, I'm not an idiot. I can put two and two together. Like, if that was a problem, just say that. I would rather you prefer to say something like, oh man, that's, ask first, or I need to know if you're going to be here, and I get that, and I'm respectful of that, but don't tell me that it's fine just to do something passive aggressive and backhanded like that. Like, just say how you feel. I really wish that I wish we could live in a world where people would just say how they feel. It might hurt somebody for 2 seconds, as long as it's constructive. Not just like saying, I hate you. Like, not that stuff, but it's just like, treat people with love and compassion, but when you're upset with them, let them know. Or if, you feel a certain kind of way, but you think that you have to react a certain way for somebody else, don't do that. Just be you. Just be you. That's it. That's the only way to bring the real people in your life who actually care about you around you, is by being yourself. And unfortunately, being yourself is gonna turn a lot of people away, because a lot of people won't be able to handle you. And that's what I've started to notice. A lot of people can't handle me because I speak facts. I just speak the truth, and a lot of people don't like the truth. A lot of people don't like that. And I have a very hard time speaking to people and being in rooms with people who I know that they are living 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different lives for other people, just trying to fit in with any group that they can. And I'm not that way. I've never functioned that way. I never will function that way. And that's just not something that I believe in. I just don't ever believe in making myself fit into other people's box. That's just not what I do. And I think with a lot of people, especially older people, they have this sense of, as the older person, I need to be the one who is being knowledgeable with this person. I need to share my years of experience. And it's just annoying because it's like I've done a lot of reading and watching videos and searching within myself even to understand both self-control, emotional intelligence, and just how to just be a decent person and not be selfish. And like a lot of older people I feel are intimidated by me just because of like my intelligence level. And I'll start talking and they'll cut me off. They won't listen. Everything's one ear out the other. And it's really frustrating, but I've just come to accept it. It's just people fear what they don't understand. And if you start talking about something they don't understand, they're going to cower from it. Either that or they're going to, force their opinions or beliefs on you because you're threatening everything they've ever known. You're threatening their identity. And so I'm just kind of floating in this space where it's like I'm truly learning who I am now, and I am not going to go back for anybody. And if that means that I have to just be silent to avoid the irritation of people who don't have the time of day for me, then that's what I do. If I have to cut off people who I know aren't giving me the time of day, then that's what I have to do. But I'm just a 24-year-old in a very mature mindset that's looking at other 24-year-olds like, what are you doing? Like, you have one life and you're out here chasing dopamine, smoking, drinking. That ain't living. That's not living. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And people have the audacity when you say that to look at you and be like, "Oh, you're lame." Like, bro, you're lame. Like, point blank, period. Like, you're lame if you think that smoking and drinking every day is solving your problems. The joke's on you. And the party lifestyle is a joke. I don't know who sold that shit to you. I don't know who told you that getting your little hits of dopamine just to stay alive is how it is. Like, that's your existence and that's what's going to make you happy, but they lied to you. They lied to you. That's not what is going to make you happy, not in the slightest bit. And you have to dig within yourself, find what makes you feel purposeful, and do that. And I promise you that purpose is not drinking, it's not getting high and getting drunk. I promise you it's not.